Thailand, most men don't lose the game due to insecurity. They often lose when they feel unstoppable. When things go so well, they stop playing the game carefully. Because the danger zone isn't usually lack of confidence. In fact, most men feel more alive than ever when they leave the airport. If your first week in Thailand felt like the best version of yourself and you suddenly found yourself making foolish choices, this video is for you. Every man has felt it. That first week in Thailand. You land. You check into the hotel. You walk outside. And suddenly something feels different. You feel different. You meet people's eyes longer. Conversations start easily. Laughter comes naturally. Attention appears without effort. You even walk with a different kind of swagger. Within 48 hours, many men feel more confident than they have in years, maybe ever. And here's the important part. That confidence feels real, emotionally. But psychologically, it's borrowed. Back home, confidence is expensive. You have to earn it slowly. Through rejection, through uncertainty, through the pain of transformation. In the West, dating often involves ambiguity. Dates are expensive, but, more often than not, lead nowhere. Attention is scarce. But Thailand compresses all those risks and rewards and packages it all just for the price of a lady drink. You didn't suddenly become more charismatic. The environment simply stopped resisting you. There are two types of confidence: internal and environmental. Internal confidence comes from competence. Real skills that can be translated into value. Experience in things people care about. Boundaries that promote natural self-respect. Self-knowledge that gives a man a competitive advantage in any interaction. This type of confidence survives anywhere. Environmental confidence comes from context, location, status imbalance, tourist advantage, money, novelty. It only exists inside specific conditions. The first week trap happens when men confuse environmental confidence with personal transformation. You think, I figured this place out. But the environment is carrying you. Remove the environment and you're right back at square one. Here's the thing. Your brain adapts shockingly fast to reward. Day 1 feels unreal. Day 2 is exciting. By day 4 or 5, it starts to feel normal. Attention becomes expected. Affection feels deserved. Success feels earned. All the while, your dopamine baseline quietly recalibrates. And once something starts to feel normal, risk perception drops. You stop evaluating the situation based on reality. This is where men often make this one critical mistake. They interpret repetition as proof of competence. This is where the trap quietly inserts itself. Nothing bad happens yet. That's what makes this trap so deceptive. There are no obvious conflicts. There's no emotional tension. Everything continues to flow smoothly. You keep winning. So your brain starts to build a narrative. In Thailand, you cannot lose. And because early experiences are positive, the belief strengthens. This is how men start to make mistakes they wouldn't normally have made. This is how men forget the interaction is a transaction and start thinking they are in a relationship. So where do men lose their footing? They forget the fundamentals required to have a fun Thailand trip safely. And experienced bar girls see this and know they've found their next mark. They recognize first week energy instantly. It doesn't necessarily peg you as a newbie, but it does peg you as someone who has lost self-control. Drunk on confidence, you talk more. You share stories faster. You reveal personal struggles sooner. Divorce, loneliness, career stress, past relationships. You think you're sharing your life, but the bar girl is using the information to build emotional scaffolding around you. There are 3 common mistakes men make when their first week confidence turns into overconfidence. 1 is oversharing. It's normal for holidays to compress familiarity. Men start bringing strangers into their lives. But context is everything. It is not situationally appropriate to tell a bar girl about details of your past marriage or childhood trauma, nor is it good form to unload your struggles on a stranger at a bar who is just trying to have a good time. All of this baggage should be handled at home, where it belongs. The second mistake men make when they're overconfident is overspending. Sometimes the celebratory nature of Pattaya can induce risky spending. They want to reward good experiences, but that can sometimes tank their budgets. This often happens to men who drink a lot or have trouble saying no. The latter is where a lot of men fall short. The inability to say no is like writing a bar girl a blank check. It's okay to be generous, but be careful when behavior starts to set future expectations. If you're a big spender one night, the bar and girls will expect you to be one every time you visit. At the end of the trip, you will have paid a premium for the exact same experience as someone else paying much less. 3 is overbelieving. This is the most destructive of the 3 mistakes men make when they get overconfident. They get lost in the illusion of Pattaya, but their confidence convinces them that they're still in control. They begin to interpret warmth as genuine rather than performative. They start to think, why wouldn't she like me? Instead of, it's her job to like me. And many bar girls can sniff out this energy from a mile away, because they know a man who is feeling himself too much is an easy target. Men fall for these traps because Pattaya creates an artificial sense of competence. The success of the first week makes a man believe he's mastered the game. This is called the Dunning-Kruger effect. And when attention and opportunity is abundant and energy is high, it becomes easy to make mistakes. The goal of this video is not to belittle anyone. This is not just for men in the honeymoon phase of Pattaya, either. Because Pattaya is an engineered environment and is constantly evolving, even veterans can fall for this trap. It's less about experience and more about the man's emotional state before he begins his trip. So even a veteran, coming from a destabilizing situation, can fall into this trap. Initial wins are supposed to come easy. The city is designed to reward certain behaviors and punish others. Overconfidence can lead one to stop observation, to stop pacing, and accelerate relationships that ultimately have the potential to ruin his entire trip. One bad choice with a bar girl, or even an expat for that matter, can lead to a whole host of problems. The confidence of week 1 wasn't fake. The emotions weren't fake either. But it was context dependent. Temporary environments create temporary identities. The mistake isn't enjoying it. The mistake is making permanent emotional decisions inside temporary psychological conditions. Because a stack of continuous wins sometimes can precede an even bigger loss. In the next video, we're going to talk about something adjacent to this topic, and that is the second trip trap. It should be an informative video. Subscribe if you want clarity instead of fantasy. Until next time, stay sharp.